So, we're beginning. I hope by this time you've gotten Mark Williams' book, Finding Peace in a Frantic World. And if you've read up through chapter 4 and into chapter 5, then we're really ready to begin week 1. Those first chapters are really kind of the beginning and laying an intellectual foundation of what mindfulness is and clearing up some misconception and misunderstandings, and also helping you be ready for the benefit. Like, really, we need to be drawn towards the practice by a hope of a reward. So we're not lashing ourselves into it with negativity, but we're really after something better in our lives. And so that's why it's really nice to just take some time, read those first chapters. If you get to chapter 4 describes kind of what this 8-week process is, what you can expect. I've tried to explain that a little bit as well. And then we get right into chapter 1, or week 1 in chapter 5. It's a little confusing. But chapter 5 is the beginning of the actual 8-week practice. At the end of the chapter, you'll find a nice little box with an outline of what's required, or not required, of what you can give yourself that week. Let's put it in the most positive terms, really. You want to see all of this as giving yourself a gift that you've needed for a long time, maybe. A gift of self-soothing, a gift of finding comfort within yourself, and a gift of a challenge to grow, to be bigger than your momentary reactions or the pressure or stress you feel inside, to kind of expand yourself, expand your skills, be your best self, happiest self, most capable of joy. So chapter 5, week 1, is really a very simple beginning. And the meditation is a meditation on body and breath. It's about 7 minutes long. It's going to invite you to pay attention to the sensations of your body and then become aware of the way you sense breath in your body. One of my most fond memories of doing this group is that one time I was working with a group, and there was a couple of women in the group, and the beginning of the practice of body awareness starts with tuning into the sensations in your feet. And both these people said, what I encountered when I tried to do that, when I tried to become aware of my feet, was kind of a mental picture of my feet. And I thought that was an amazing discovery. That what they discovered was that when they tried to connect with themselves, with their own experience, instead what they were connecting with was a picture of their experience. So, how much does that apply to all of us, that we're actually not in this experience, we're actually kind of judging it through a picture. And for these women in particular, they had the feeling that they were looking at their feet with kind of a critical eye, like, are they right? Are they okay? And if we encounter that, boy, what a gift. We've discovered where we're living. We're living in a judgmental, disconnected awareness of self. So this body and breath meditation is really an invitation to begin to experience self as is in the present moment. And that also means that when our mind pulls us away from focus on body and breath, that's just more of who we are right now, and it's not to be judged. You'll hear Mark Williams described in the meditation, if your mind drifts away, just notice where it's gone. Oh, it went over here. See that, don't judge it, and then gently bring the mind back to the focus of the meditation. That moment of awareness, of finding the mind wandering, noticing it, not judging, and bringing it back, is the core skill of all mindfulness practice. It's noticing what's happening within self and exercising a gentle influence over my awareness, not abrupt and not harsh. So you'll be doing that meditation twice a day this week. It's about 7 minutes long. So formal meditation this week is about 14 minutes. There's also an invitation to do a raisin meditation, which some of you may have done before, and if you've discarded that as a useless experience, I invite you to kind of rethink that and re-experience it. We're going to put a raisin in our mouth and we're going to just let it be there and pay attention to all the sensations it generates. And we're not trying to make anything spectacular happen. One of the basic assumptions of mindfulness is that something spectacular is already happening and we might be missing it because our thoughts have pulled us elsewhere. So we may be missing the spectacular quality of our own existence as it is right now. So the raisin is sensual enough to kind of wake up some sensations that we could pay attention to. We're also going to be, this week, there's informal practice, which is the other side. So mindfulness has formal and informal. So the informal side of our practice is we're going to pick something that we do as a mundane activity every day, and we're going to do it with as much awareness as possible. So we're really going to tune into the actual experience and not just do it as an automatic. This could be something mundane like washing the dishes or feeding the dog or brushing the teeth or showering or anything that we do. And for that period of time that we're doing that activity, we want to kind of immerse our awareness into the actual experience. And this may go against the grain of our automatic habit, which is humans tend to do mundane activities, and they're especially modern American humans, and kind of their mind is full of other stuff like what they need to do, or worry thoughts, or fantasies, or daydreams, or rehashing the past, or it can go all over the place. But what if my hands are actually in the sudsy, soapy water of my dish doing, and I'm just experiencing that? So it's really kind of doing one thing mindfully that I do every day, and noticing that experience. Again, this is not meant to produce some fantastic moment. It might. But really it's just meant to kind of help you begin the practice of tuning into where you already are. And that's what we get. Well, the gift of mindfulness is that I can do that any time, and we'll develop that further, and we'll find out how beneficial that is through the practice. Lastly, there is a habit releaser. Now this is a very simple informal practice, which is if you do something and you tend to do it the same way every time, like let's say the way you drive to work, or the chair you sit in when you watch TV, or the chair you sit in at dinner, the order in which you do things in the morning. Like I get up, I make coffee, I do this, I do that, I do this. Turn it around. Do some things before the coffee. And it's really an attempt to kind of become aware of what happens when we create something different, and kind of noticing that it brings a certain, kind of life to the present moment that might otherwise be missed if things are just all kind of automatic. So those are really the beginning steps of our mindfulness practice, and it may seem very small. It really is actually kind of a small practice. 15 minutes of meditation a day, paying attention to a mundane experience, doing something a little bit differently. But one of the principles of mindfulness is that very small nudges of awareness actually produce over time very large results. So welcome, and if you have any questions about the practice as you go through it, you can reach out to me by text message, you can email me, you can call me. You can bring those questions or the things you're noticing to group. But the most important thing is that Jon Kabat-Zinn, who's a famous mindfulness researcher and practitioner and teacher, says it this way: meditation is not a good idea. It's a practice. So get ready to gently and consistently practice what's before you, and get ready to enjoy the reward. I look forward to seeing you.